Oh my God, guys! I just finished watching Fastlane about an hour ago, and the Fiend has finally come back. There are a lot of things, quite a few things I want to touch on with Fastlane here, but this particularly is what I wanted to touch on the return of the Fiend, who's been gone ever since TLC for the last 3 months after Randy Orton burned him in their Inferno match at TLC after a match that really wasn't even a match, but the minute that Randy got in the ring against Alexa, she kept on with this man, constantly playing all these tricks on him, having that stuff, that black stuff, that garment, whatever you call it, coming dripping out his mouth. Randy was constantly throwing out his mouth over and over and over again, and it was just like, my God. And every time he tried to make a move on Alexa, she kept smashing some type of fire or something on him. It was some type of thing she was smashing on him, and over again, every time Randy tried to go for something, Alexa had something up her sleeve. And to make things worse, you saw a hand come from under the ring and ended up being the Fiend in a more destructive mass or more terrifying mass than his previous mass. And it definitely gives a lot of different vibes of what this mask can remind a lot of people of movie wise. But it's crazy because the rumor was definitely that he wasn't going to come back with the same mask. But the fact that he came out and pretty much put the sister Abigail and Randy Orton. And then on top of that, after he did that, and it was actually Alexa that had her that was bowing down with Bray standing there, which is normally something Bray would do. But my goodness, I mean, we for months and months and months, ever since he burned Bray Wyatt, the Fiend Bray Wyatt, all we've seen is Alexa just torturing Randy over and over again, constantly causing random matches, constantly popping up whenever Randy had a match, and even try to get Randy to burn her the same way that he burned the Fiend, and he refused to do it. Multiple times we've seen Alexa toying with Randy Orton for the past 3 months, and you just pretty much knew that this was not going to be a match, and that's exactly what it was. All it was a way to set up for the Fiend to come back, and man, he came back in a big way, in a more destructive way, and you got to hope to wonder what type of match is this going to be. I mean, last year, The Fiend, he faced John Cena in the 5-5 Funhouse match. I don't see them doing that again, but I also don't see this match taking place in the ring. I mean, I feel like this type of match is going to be another cinematic match like the match he had with John Cena. I just don't think it's going to be the same type. I think it's going to be something else. I really don't see this type of match taking place in the ring, considering the fact that the last time these two faced off at WrestleMania 33, it did take place in the ring. And even that match was kind of weird because you had the whole thing where Bray, at some points, he would have like the little spiders and the little insects pop up. It was like this little screen they were using for the ring. And, ultimately, Randy Orton ended up winning the WWE Championship from Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 33. I definitely don't see them going that route. I think this match is going to be, um, I think it's definitely going to be outside of the ring. Another type of cinematic match. It's going to be interesting to see what type of match it's going to be. But now they're finally building towards this match at WrestleMania. They've been building towards it, but now we're finally going to see, the complete build of this at WrestleMania now that the Fiend is back. I mean, Alexa had cost Randy so many matches since the Fiend's been gone. I mean, she caused him his match against Edge when Edge after Edge won the Rumble. He faced off the night after the Rumble, and he wanted to, he wanted to take Edge out again, and Edge ended up beating him with the help of Alexa. He lost AJ Styles on Raw because of Alexa. So many times he's been losing on Raw because or getting himself even in the Gauntlet match right before the Elimination Chamber, he literally got himself counted out because of Alexa. And then it just became Drew and Sheamus at the end of that match. So Alexa has been pretty much torturing this man Randy ever since he burned the Fiend, and The Fiend has finally come back, so now they're finally building toward this. And it's not just this match. They I gotta say for Fastlane tonight, they are building towards a lot. Even we finally seen the explosion happened. We finally seen some more intensity with Bianca and Sasha to kick off the show after they lost to Nia Jackson. Tamina after basically Sasha blamed Bianca when she got pushed into Sasha, which ultimately caused them to argue, and then Sasha got pinned by Shayna Baszler, and Shayna and I retained the women tag team belts. And from there they just kept arguing back and forth, and she called Bianca a rookie, and I actually slapped Bianca, and I really wanted Bianca to do something else because it's pretty obvious that at this point Sasha's been playing a heel this whole time, but this was like the most we've seen them have some type of actual physical interaction ever since Bianca won the whole Reggie thing. And Reggie got involved in this match too, but Sasha tried to stop him, and Bianca tried to stop him, and they just kept going at it, and they cost him the match again. So, we're finally getting the seeds to explode. Only thing I didn't like was the fact that Bianca, instead of her going at it with Sasha, instead she just kept pointing at the WrestleMania sign, saying, "Yeah, you know what? It's fine. It's cool." Because I'll just wait to WrestleMania. Instead of going after Sasha after slapping her, she just kept pointing at the WrestleMania sign. And this is really the time where you should be really, taking it to the next level, especially considering they've had y'all teaming up this whole time. And so we saw a little bit of intensity there. In the pre-show, we saw Retribution finally break up pretty much, um, with Mustafa Ali as the leader, which I think we all pretty much knew that was going to last. They've been teasing it for weeks, and Mace and T-Bar attacked Mustafa Ali after he blamed him for losing to Matt Riddle in the pre-show for the United States Championship. Matt Riddle retained the United States title. Um, so many intensive builds tonight. We finally, it definitely looks like they're going towards a triple threat match for the Universal title. The Sheamus match and Drew match at the No Holds Bar match they had with each other was absolutely incredible. And ultimately Drew ended up winning the match, but it was an amazing match. Um, Apollo and Big E, it looks like they're going to be going even further with that storyline, considering the way it ended with Apollo winning with some type of it was a variation of one of the roll ups, and ultimately Apollo just kept attacking him after the match. So they're definitely building towards stuff here. Even with the main event, the Universal title, it looks like they're going towards. I mean, they have to be because so many times in that match, Daniel had Roman beat, and Roman was to the point where he tapped, but because Edge was just sick of being attacked, because Edge got in the ring after Daniel inadvertently hit the running knee on the ref when Roman got out the way, and he put himself as the ref. Roman hit Daniel with the spear, and Daniel kicked out, and then from there, Daniel Roman. Then from there, Jay Uso came out and beat up Edge to stop Roman from tapping out to the yes lock. And then from there, Daniel picked up the same chair that Jay Uso used to hit them and inadvertently hit Edge. And then Edge just couldn't take it anymore and actually ruined Daniel Bryan's opportunity to make Roman tap. So it led into now it definitely looks like they got to be going in the triple threat match because there's just no way with the way how Fastlane ended where Daniel pretty much had Roman beat and Edge messed it up because he was sick of being attacked. He pretty much figured that Daniel intentionally attacked him. You definitely could tell from the way that was because he didn't just clock Daniel with the steel chair. He also hit Roman with the steel chair. Roman managed to get enough leverage to pin Daniel to retain the Universal title. So we definitely seen a lot of intensity tonight, and you can definitely tell that things are really starting to build as we get closer to WrestleMania. And it was just the one thing I just wanted to touch on the most was the Fiend situation, because the Fiend finally came back and he's been gone for months, 3 months, and you're finally gonna see that match go off the wire. Even with Shane McMahon and Braun, and you can tell that they're aiming toward that for WrestleMania, especially when Shane McMahon put Elias of all people as his replacement. So he tried to talk to Shane. Shane put him as his replacement to face Braun here at Fastlane, which Braun pretty much squashed him. And so it definitely looks like they're going um, it definitely looks like there's going to be a lot of matches that turn into like a lot of matches that kind of get taken to the next level at Fastlane, and it should be interesting. So at WrestleMania, so it should be interesting. So sign off for Master Flex. That's all I wanted to point out here, and I'm out. Peace.